Last I saw it, he was leaning against the wall in the boot room. Tobias chuckled. "You're being too humble. You played brilliantly. No one can hold a candle to you on the polo field." Worthington, it should be noted, did not demur further. The women were clustered at the opposite end of the room. Penelope, Charlotte, Figgy, Jemima Dougal, Sissy, and Yvette Boucher, a petite, dark-haired Frenchwoman with a pixie cut, who looked effortlessly elegant in a black jumpsuit and black suede kitten heels. Penelope was perched on the edge of a chintz-covered sofa, attempting to maintain her balance even as its soft, enveloping cushions threatened to swallow her. She had a flute of Moet de Chandon in one hand and a water biscuit with a dab of potted mushrooms on top in the other, and had come to the realization that if she bit the hors d'oeuvre in half, she was likely to wind up with crumbs all over her skirt. Eating the whole thing in one go wasn't an option either. It was far too large for that. Not for the first time in her life, she wished for a third hand with which to deal with the situation. How incredibly convenient it would be to be able to whip one out on occasions such as these. Figgy, who by virtue of being the daughter of an earl had also been invited, was sitting next to Penelope and with a knowing look came to her aid by offering to hold her glass. Penelope ate her canapé, one hand held underneath to catch the crumbs, and vowed not to accept any more from the butler who was circulating with a silver tray of tempting-looking morsels. "Do give us a hint about your wedding dress," Jemima said to Charlotte in a teasing tone, one hand smoothing down her long plaid skirt. "I'm imagining something regal, with a train that goes on forever." Penelope thought that at the moment Charlotte looked as regal as ever in a pair of wide-legged cream-colored trousers and a matching cream-colored ruffled blouse. The spectacular diamond on her left ring finger sparkled in the light of the chandelier above. Sissy, who was sitting cross-legged on the floor in front of the sofa, wagged a finger at Jemima. "It's a state secret. You'll find out soon enough." Sissy owned Atelier Classique and had designed Charlotte's wedding gown herself. She'd been born in Upper Cholmondeley-on-Stoke, but had moved to London after having been sent down from university due to a singular lack of academic achievement. Her mother had been a sort of royal hanger-on, her great-grandmother having been a lady-in-waiting to the Queen Mother, and claimed a distant relationship to the royal family. Her father had no pretensions, royal or otherwise, and had made a fortune in toilet paper, thus earning Sissy the nickname, the Loo Paper Princess, in the British tabloids, where she appeared at least once a week. "Just a tiny clue," Jemima wheedled. "I'm dying of curiosity. Is it satin or taffeta or lace?" She raised her eyebrows. Sissy stretched out her legs in their slim trousers. A gold crest was embroidered on the toes of her black velvet smoking slippers. "It's one of my best designs yet," she said. "I will tell you that." Penelope noticed Yvette shoot Sissy a look that was decidedly ominous. She nudged Figgy, and Figgy whispered back, "I saw that too. I wonder what's eating her." A butler stood in the doorway and cleared his throat. "Dinner is served," he said in solemn tones. "I'm starving," Sissy said, getting to her feet. She patted her stomach. "Mustn't eat too much, though, or I won't fit into my ball gown tomorrow night." She glanced at Charlotte over her shoulder. "And you shouldn't eat too much either. There's no time to alter your gown again. Right, Yvette?" She shot Yvette a look. Yvette gave a small nod. The gentlemen followed them into the dining room, where the table had been set with a fine linen tablecloth and the Worthington china and monogrammed silver. 3 ornate silver candelabras marched down the center of the table, flanked by flowers clustered in low vases. Food was spread out on the buffet: roast beef, asparagus, silver gravy boats filled with hollandaise sauce, and fondant potatoes. A magnificent chocolate biscuit cake stood on a standoff to one side. Throwing protocol to the wind, the evening was meant to be casual. The men agreed to sit together on one side of the table, with the women on the opposite. Penelope was seated between Yvette and Figgy. She turned to Yvette and introduced herself. "How do you know Charlotte?" Yvette took a sip of her wine.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.